Last of Us, episode 5. So sure enough, it's Henry and Sam that show up at the end of 4. We get to see what happened in Kansas City. We get to see Henry and Sam on their own. And there's a big change here. Sam is deaf. There's some sign language going on. There's an awesome, he's got one of the, what do they call those? A magic slate. That's what they call it. That's right. I had one of those. I wasn't sure if I was going to end up liking this, but it did allow for some interesting quietness in scenes that we haven't really had, which works out in their favor in terms of being quiet, not being found. We get to see their side of the story in a way that we did not in the game, and there's really a lot more story going on in the city than there was in the game. There were hints of a revolution in the game, but we never really met any of the people that we were killing. So here you get to meet some of those people, and they've come up with a story as to why, and there's a different story now behind Henry and Sam. They're not just passing through and trying to get out of town. They are part, or were part of this group in the city. And they were actually, well, Henry anyway, was an informant for Fedra, and in the interest of taking care of his younger brother, who has, at the time, had leukemia, right? So the motivations are pretty clear there. I really think this ended up working out. The deafness thing actually added an interesting element that, it's worth thinking about. Like, we think about disabilities in the real world, in current real day, our world, difficult, obviously, but what about in this post-apocalyptic fungal wasteland? How would someone maybe learn how to survive in that? And it's interesting to see. So I think we have another pretty good example of the changes being mostly additive, and there's even a bloater at the end, and we do get to keep the whole sniper scene, and it's really the first instance that I can think of that's like literal gameplay to some degree ripped from the game and put into the show. So I'm glad to see that. And I'm glad they chose to keep the sniper scene, even though it's recontextualized and the sniper himself is different. Joel's choice to try to offer the sniper a peaceful, way out was interesting. I guess the idea is that the sniper guy is obviously quite old and had enough anyway, so maybe he was ready to die and probably didn't want to snipe anymore. He wasn't that good in the show. In the game, the sniper is like ridiculously accurate. Not so much in the show. I like that there's still some of the tunnels, and we got a hint at the storyline that happened underground in the game with the drawings of the kids, the kids left behind drawings of their protectors. Obviously everybody died. I think Ishi or whatever is maybe the name there, if I remember that. It's close to that. So it's cool to see that like kind of nod to the game, and then that just lets you, if you've played the game, you know what happened here, right? You don't get to learn about it in the show, but it's nice to have a little piece for the game fans, and for anyone who goes and plays it, to go find out what the rest of that story was. And then, of course, the ultimate moment with Henry and Sam, and obviously Sam getting bit and turning, and Henry having to be the one to take him out, and then not being able to handle it and taking his own life, and all of the impact on Joel and Ellie, and Joel's realization, I think, of, man, I am starting to care for Ellie, and if something happens to her, I'm going to have a problem, which I'm sure, for anyone who's played the game, I'm sure you would know where this is leading, and probably what the emotional arc of the next episode is going to be when Joel and Tommy meet again and they talk about what to do next. I'm looking forward to that. Great episode. The adaptation is, I just don't have any real complaints about it. It's good to have, so far, 2 versions of something and have them both be very good in their own way. So I like additive. I'm going to call it additive adaptation. I like that. Here's hoping for more of that. Next one here next week. See you then.